All right, so for this week's newsletter, I want to talk about implementing yoga, strength and conditioning programs. We offer our 2 strength classes here, 2 conditioning classes over there. We offer yoga twice a week, and the benefits is basically the biggest thing outside of the de-stressor that comes mentally or the spiritual side, or just kind of having time to be able to have a light workout sort of thing. I see it as the kinesio benefits that come along with it. That would be simple, comparable to like Ken stretch or going through controlled articular rotations, is the improved movement capacity in both, whether it be Ken stretch or yoga. We choose yoga. Being able to sit in, at the end range of a joint capsule for longer than what we would do in strength classes, and absolutely for sure with conditioning, and that being able to mitigate problems down the road. So whether it be like in a hip circle, so say bringing up your leg is not uncommon to do in yoga or in Ken stretch, and being able to work your leg over to the outside of your body, and ideally hopefully not compensating or letting your hip drop or hip hike or anything like that sort of thing, being able to control those end ranges, obviously being able to back away from pain, but being able to explore those end ranges, that will translate to comfort in being able to squat, because you don't feel like you have a pinch or like a pinch when you're in the bottom of the squat, and you kind of create that mobility or flexibility that can come that you won't necessarily get time designated in strength, or you won't be designating the time designated in strength training, and absolutely not conditioning training, being able to do that. But you can have specific times of, I'm trying to increase my in range joint control in my squat. We're just gonna keep using squat for example, to be squatting pain free. So that's one benefit that I see from there. Ultimately, that's going to improve physical performance, because say if you were getting the bottom of your squat and you feel like you have like a trapped hip, or you feel like you have something acting as a barrier that you can't necessarily sit behind there because you haven't explored that in-range joint control with no weight. Spending that time kind of mitigates that. So if you have depth issues in your squat, or you feel like you're just not comfortable at the bottom of it, in yoga you'll be able to spend certain periods of time, and it's, you know, whether it be extended seconds or up to minutes, being able in a unilateral position or bilateral position from there, or if we're lying on our back and we're spending that time in an external hip rotation, or whatever the case may be, the same things that you may see, as well as the popularity picks up with Ken stretch. Like I said, the biggest thing is in-range joint control. And for me, it's not necessarily the lower body half, it's like the upper body half. So I don't do well with upper body movements, but when my hands are overhead, and then one of our yoga instructors are talking us through it to make sure I'm not like compensating and trying to reach, and then where my rib cage is sit, all those things to be able to reach an in range without compensation there. And then ultimately that will, one, increases your body awareness to be able to make a correction, because not every squat or not every press is going to look the same. Say if you're doing 1 through 10, that you have the body awareness to make the correction of, if I start to press overhead, my rib cage starts to flare up, I know to bring it back down, because I'm experiencing like a feedback that I'm doing something wrong. The same way with a squat, I can be, you know, start to have my valgus knee, my knees start to cave in. That's my feedback of like, okay, get back to your original position. And being able to increase that body awareness starts to increase the likelihood of an injury. So that's reason enough right there. If you can have an improved physical performance and decreasing the likelihood of injury, right there is where I feel like it's my brother and I feel it's important to have, for us, yoga involved in your daily practice. If you're doing strength classes and you're doing conditioning classes on a regular basis, that's where you can kind of clean up the mess, where you may have like kind of start to trash your body because something's fatigued, that you will compensate unknowingly, and that compensation starts to turn into a pattern. You start to continue that pattern, and then that eventually starts to lead into potential injury. That's reason right there to kind of bring it all together when it comes to yoga.